sensing. Here we are in Marseille, France, with a Cuban restaurant dedicated to Che Guevara. You won't see that very often around the US anyway. Found my way to O'Shea's pub right here. See how it's spelled. Prague's cheapest lunch. Lunch menu for 99 cases, which is about $5. Includes a free beer and many other offers. Nothing says socialist, revolutionary terrorist like O'Shea is. Oh, hold it. Brussels, Belgium here. And you see that building with the white swan on it? What's important about that, in 1848, believe it or not, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels met there with a bunch of German labor leaders. This was just before they published the Communist Manifesto, because they felt that the only important thing was labor. Capital didn't matter. It was the value of the laborer that mattered. Now, if that were actually true, then we wouldn't have anything but spoons. We wouldn't have shovels. We wouldn't have big earth-moving equipment, because, in fact, capital is actually far more important than labor. That's why we're a capitalist society. Lenin's wall in Prague, and what you find is this wall right here. Shortly after Lenin's death in the 1980s, some people started putting graffiti on here, particularly images of John Lennon. Peace and love and all the imagined things that John Lennon stood for. Of course, the communist rulers didn't take too kindly to that, so they started to crack down on it, and they would paint over it, and of course, magically the next day it would appear again. So become a bit of an icon for communist resistance. And now, every day, the wall changes as people add their own 2 cents to it. Cans of paint right over there. Not that I have anything to say about it. As you can see here in Argentina, foothills of the Andes Mountains, the roads aren't all paved. Many of them are in the cities, but of course in the towns they're not. Now, what I want to really point out here is that I had a conversation with some Argentinians last night, and one of the things Argentina has is a university system that's free education. You can go for free to the University of Salta here in town. And in fact, the son and his wife are both engineers. But they mentioned they didn't save any money this year. I thought it must be hard to save money in an economy where there's a lot of hyperinflation, but that's not the reason why. They're both engineers working for the government. And the wife has not been paid in 5 months. They're living on the husband's salary. So I said, well, that'll be good then when she gets paid. You'll have a big bank account and you can buy some stuff. And they said, well, they really weren't sure about that, because his sister and his brother both worked for one for 3 months and one for 4 months for the government without pay. So we have a country where they have universal health care and no roads, where they have universal education, free education, but the jobs that they're provided for are from the government, and the government can't keep its promises. They can't make the payments. So what good is that? It's interesting because oftentimes when people vote, they vote based on what the candidate promises. But you have to understand, here in Argentina and anywhere else in the world, just because a campaign promises something doesn't mean they can provide that. Okay, here atop the castle, looking out over the Danube plain of the Danube River. And just a smidgen of this here is Slovakia. And then shortly off in the distance here, the river becomes the border. But at the moment, Slovakia has both sides of the river. I'll tell you, these do not look like typical buildings. I got a feeling that this city was built up during the Soviet era. It's just my guess. The city across the river, that is. His name is not Bratislava, but I don't remember what it is. And off in the far distance would be Hungary. Way over there. There's a spot where all three countries come together in the distance there. Okay, 1 kilometer we reach Austria. This appears to be the old Iron Curtain. Right here. That was it. We just passed it. I'm in a little town called Wolfthal on the Austrian-Slovakian border. I'm sitting next to a, you can see that, bus stop. Nondescript, no big deal to most people. But if you were from Slovakia, you couldn't get here 20-some years ago. Back in the communist era, or they now refer to the socialist era. And today, for €1.50, you can get there and back. Leaving Austria.